All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game. All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday. And if we win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak.
Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up. And you D-Gens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. It is Wednesday, September 14th. And your guy Hector's in the building. Quick shout outs real quick to the chat. Like always, my man Mikey Mazza and the 4 Train Express. What it do, brothers? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Mr. James Cook, good morning, sir. Hope all is well. Great win last night. You know, my eyes is a little look like they baggy, a little tired. I was just up last night. But besides that, it's a great win. My man Mikey Mazza said, "What is up, Hector? Great win last night. Judge came up big with 2 homers and Glaber with a huge double in the 10th that cleared the bases. Great game all around." Absolutely, Mazza. If you can say last night, you know, in that 10th inning, we were celebrating Glaber Day. We definitely were. But before I continue, you know, I got to play it because my man is, you know, he's chasing history. Shout out to Aaron Judge for the 2 home runs, 56 and 57. You know, I know it may be a little bit too much to ask for, but could he chase Bonds? All rise indeed. I hope you guys got your coffee cup, you know, today. I got me a nice little Wonder Woman cup. I'm feeling Wonder Woman-ish today after seeing Judge hit number 56 and 57 last night. Give it up for number 99 as he pursues what is history. Honestly, I don't think he's going to get to Bonds. You know, it would be nice for him to get to 74. I would love for him. Bonds is 73, so I would love for Judge to get to 74. But I don't think that's going to happen, right? I don't think Judge is going to be able to get to 74 home runs. But ultimately, he is going to break Roger Maris's record, you know, unless he goes into a horrible slump for the rest of the season. He definitely is going to break Roger Maris's record. Smoke a lot of Potamus. What is good? Salute, my guy. Salute, salute, salute. You literally have probably one of the best names on the internet. Smoke a lot of Potamus. Like there's if we had a competition throughout every other community in the internet, and on Mariah Carey's internet today, I would say that Smoke a lot of Potamus is probably in the top 3 names going around on the interwebs. But yeah, Mr. Judge had 56 and 57. And one thing that was trending yesterday, especially after CC Sabathia said these rumors, apparently CC said that Shohei Ohtani should win the MVP. So before we break down last night's game, let's have this conversation, guys. Let's have this conversation. If you're in the chat, please be involved in the chat. But let me bring it up real quick. Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani. Who's the MVP? Me personally, it's Judge, hands down. I'm picking Judge. Judge is definitely the MVP in this conversation. I don't care what anybody says. When you look at MVP and what it stands for, it stands for most valuable player, right? And that's not to knock Shohei Ohtani in any way whatsoever. No, not at all. Shohei Ohtani is probably the best player in all of baseball. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's a two-way player. He has speed, even though he DHs most of the time. He does have speed. He has power. I'm pull up his numbers right now that we can have the conversation a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, but when you look at the stats and when you look at how much that player means to their team, look, you could just look at Aaron Judge's wins above replacement. Aaron Judge's wins above replacement is basically double than the league average. Aaron Judge's wins above replacement is literally double than the league average. And if you talk this Yankee team, who do we have? I heard a guy call into Tiki and Tierney's show yesterday, and he brought up the point that, the Yankees, their record when Stanton was out of the lineup is 3 games under 500 since when Stanton was taken out of the lineup. And all those facts? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it wasn't Stanton only, exclusively, when he was out of the lineup. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, we could go down the same rabbit hole. The Yankees have a worse record since Michael King has been put on the IL, has been out for the rest of the year. Is Michael King the MVP? No, absolutely not. But if you take away Aaron Judge from this Yankee team, from the beginning of the season to now, just remove him. This Yankee team is not even competing for that 3rd wild card spot. This Yankee team is not even competing for that. Hands down, Judge is definitely the MVP. And then on top of it, right? On top of it, when you look at his batting average, Judge is hitting well over 300. Well over 300. Let's look at it right now. Aaron Judge this season, after last night's game, after going 3 for 4 last night as well. Don't forget that. But Aaron Judge has a 310 batting average. He's leading all of baseball with 57 home runs. He's leading all of baseball with 123 RBIs. He has 88 walks, which is leading the American League. He has an on-base percentage of .414, which is leading the American League. He has a slugging percentage of .692, which is leading all of baseball. He has an OPS plus. He has an OPS of 1105, which is leading baseball, and an OPS plus of 209. Judge is the MVP of the American League. He's leading all of baseball in runs with 116. And like James Cook said, Shohei is an average pitcher, 12-8 record, and an average hitter. Ohtani isn't elite at either, but do you give him the MVP because he does both? Let's look at Ohtani's hitting numbers, right? Ohtani from the plate, his batting average is 265. In this day and age in baseball, that's an all-star. If you're batting 265, 270 in this day and age, you're an all-star. So Ohtani has that. He's batting 265. Ohtani has 34 home runs, which is probably one or two, a couple behind Kyle Schwarber, a few behind Kyle Schwarber, one behind Mike Trout on his team. Ohtani as well, he has 88 RBIs. But this is the big thing. Everybody talk about Judge and his strikeouts, right? Everybody talk about Judge and his strikeouts. Judge has 154 strikeouts on the season, which is a lot. I'm not going to lie. Shohei Ohtani has 142. Judge has 158. Shohei has 142. It's probably a 16 or 18 degree number of separation between the two of them when you look at strikeouts. We cannot have this narrative going around, and I hate using that word because I believe the word narrative and agenda has been beaten like a dead horse. But we cannot let the narrative go around that Shohei Ohtani should be the MVP. I'm sorry. I just do not see it. I just do not see it. Just like Mr. James, I'm trying to find Shohei's pitching numbers. That's what's hard to do. Like looking up Shohei's numbers is hard because I go on Baseball Reference and only his hitting stats show up. So it's kind of hard finding his Shohei Ohtani pitching stats. Pitching stats 2022. It's kind of hard to find it. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. But let's see right now. And bear with me, guys, you know, because I did have all this opened up, but I have no idea why my as soon as I opened up StreamYard, a lot of my windows got closed. So I do apologize because I had all this stuff open. But when you look at Shohei Ohtani's stats, trying to right now. All right. So when it comes to his stats, what is it at? I swear the interwebs are crazy. All right, so Shohei Ohtani has a 12-8 record pitching wise. He's pitching to a 2.55 ERA. You put him on the Yankees, he's probably the ace of the staff. And he pitched 141 innings. He has 188 strikeouts. So from the pitching aspect, he's pitching like a number one. I'm not going to take his pitching away from him. He's pitching like a number one. And with the stats as a hitter that he has, 265, 270, 35 home runs, 88, 90 RBIs. Those are good numbers. Those are good numbers, but I do not see them as the league MVP, especially when you're on a team that's in last place. The bottom dwellers of the league. DG, what it do? Salute. Good morning. Jigga Man. Of course, bro. Of course. I don't even understand how it's a debate at this point. Neither do I, bro. Neither do I. But for some reason, for some minute reason, people want to give the MVP award to Shohei Ohtani. And I'm going to always bring this reference up, and I'm going to always use this comparison when these conversations come up. When Mike Trout first burst onto the scene, and he won three MVPs, 2 MVPs, you know, right out the gate. Are you going to tell me that Mike Trout was more valuable to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim than Miguel Cabrera was to the Detroit Tigers? Miguel Cabrera, who won a triple crown. A triple crown. There's a season that he almost won the triple crown. Miguel Cabrera had 3 triple crown seasons back to back. Almost 3 triple crown seasons back to back. He was just off by a few points on one of them. Pinstripe Chronicles, what it do? Good morning. I see you on IG Live. I see you. But yeah, there is at this point, Wednesday, September 14th, this conversation of Shohei being the MVP over Judge is utter nonsense. Pinstripe Chronicles, let me know on IG in the chat. What do you think? You think Shohei deserves the MVP over Judge? I don't think so. I don't think so whatsoever. You know, and again, it's no knock on Shohei Ohtani. I'm not trying to knock Shohei Ohtani. Is it Shohei Ohtani's fault that he plays on a last place team? Maybe. maybe just a little bit, maybe just a little bit, but 98% of it is not his fault. It's literally not his fault. It's not Shohei Ohtani's fault that he plays on a last place team, that he signed with the Angels, who just cannot put a team together and have been trying to put a team together for the past 10 years. This is not the Angels that have Vladimir Guerrero on it. It's not. It's totally different. It's a different regime. You know, maybe the ownership brought the team back in 2022, but this is not the same team. Front office wise, this is not. Ownership wise, maybe, but when it comes to the front office from the top down, this is not. And it's a laughing stock. But is it Shohei Ohtani's fault that he plays for that laughing stock? No, I don't. I don't. People say, oh, you know, he decided to sign with the Angels, you know, because he didn't want a big market. Listen, if you're Shohei Ohtani and you're coming from Japan to the US, right? And you got to make that big cultural shift from up there, from the Far East over to the West, you're going to want to go to a team where the noise is not that loud at first. So Shohei coming to the Angels, I do not fault him for that. Honestly, if I was in Shohei Ohtani's shoes, I probably would have done the same thing. I've never been in that environment when it comes to the U.S. and the West market. I've never been in that environment when it comes to the certain fans, whether it's the Dodgers fans or whether it's the Yankees fans. So when he was deciding where he wanted to go and get the feeling, he decided to go to the Angels because it would have been an easy transition for him. My man Pinstripe Chronicles on IG said, giving it to Ohtani would dismiss what Judge has done this year. Home run record chase plus possibility of triple crown. It's Judge's hands down. Absolutely, bro. I 100% agree with you. When you look, especially the fact that in 2022, Aaron Judge is hitting over 300. He's hitting over 300. He's not that far behind when it comes to batting average, leading the American League for batting average and triple crown. Let me just look it up right now. (2022). Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now so we can see how far Judge is and if this is a possibility. Because over the past 10 games, right, Aaron Judge is hitting well over 500. I believe they brought it up last night. Aaron Judge over these past 10 games is hitting 514 with 6 home runs over these past 10 games. Let that sink in. Or maybe 7 or 8 because of the 2 he hit last night. But over the past 10 games, Aaron Judge is hitting over 500. He's hitting 514 over these past 10 games. That is baseball. That is video game numbers. That's MLB The Show numbers. That's when you're playing the video game, you're putting all your sliders up like I do because I love to do that. That's what that is, what Judge is doing. My man Keith Saunders, what's good, brother? Keith, I'll be putting out that video later on this week from when we was at Yankee Stadium last. But salute to my man Keith. I had a great time on my birthday, brother. Appreciate you popping out. But he said Ohtani is going to put himself in the LeBron conversation. His talent will always make him MVP candidate. Absolutely. That right there. If we had, comment of the day, that right there would be the comment of the day. He said Ohtani is going to put himself in a LeBron conversation. His talent will always make him MVP candidate. Absolutely. But what hurt LeBron is that he is LeBron, and if he's not having an outstanding season, he's not going to get the MVP. So I agree with that statement. It's going to raise the expectations for Ohtani every year and every year. Think maybe this offseason he will get traded. And as much as I would hate to say it, he may get traded to the Mets. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, he may get traded to the Mets. And I hate to say it, but Steve Cohen may pull that trigger. Now, another hot topic, and this is something that I really, truly don't want to have the conversation on, but we have to have the conversation on it. Aaron Judge, where's he going to go this offseason? Are the Yankees going to keep Aaron Judge? It's a conversation that us Yankee fans do not want to have, but we have to have it. Hold on 1 second. And like I said, as much as we don't want to have the conversation, we have to have it. Because Judge, he's on a trajectory to have a legendary contract. My man Pinstripe Chronicles on IG said Ohtani's bar is so high being a two-way player, there's no more raising his game. Yep. Unless he starts, 30 stolen bases, Pinstripe, maybe next year, you got the bases that are about to get bigger. It's going to be a 4-inch difference from first base to second base to third base. So if Ohtani starts stealing bags, because he has the speed to do it, he's been thrown out a lot. He just doesn't know when to pick his spots. If Ohtani can learn how to steal bags, he's going to be a problem. That right there, I cannot argue against. If Shohei Ohtani starts stealing bags, he's going to be a problem. Now, when you look at batting average in the American League, Luis Ariz has a 319 batting average. Xander Bogaerts, he has a 318 batting average. Jose Abreu has a 312 batting average, and Aaron Judge has a 310 batting average. Now, not trying to ask you guys, what would you rather, right? Let's just say for some reason, Aaron Judge, he winds up with just 60 home runs, right? 60 home runs, one short of the record, but he finished the season batting 320 and wins the Triple Crown. Would you rather him win the Triple Crown, or would you rather him break that record? Let me see what you guys want to put in the chat. Put it in the chat. Would you rather Judge break the Roger Maris record of 61, or would you rather Judge finish the season winning the Triple Crown with 60 home runs? I know I want both. I'm not trying to be greedy, y'all. I'm not trying to be greedy. I promise you. Pinky promise. That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to make this fair. What would you guys rather? Would you rather our man Judge finish the season with 62, 63? Personally, I think it's going to be 65 home runs. Or would you rather him win the Triple Crown? Let me know what you guys think down below. Oh, is that my man Zook backstage? Zook, if that's you backstage, bro, you better come in, bro. You better come in the building, bro, because I want to have this conversation with you, bro. Especially the Ohtani to the Mets conversation. My man Zook, I'm bringing you in 3, 2, 1, bro. You got boogers in your nose, bro. Wipe the boogers real quick. Well, there you go. Big Zook, what it do? Good morning.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. How you, bro?
Good. The Mets have been rough, right?
Oh God. Talk about it. Speak on it. Let me know, because the vibe has totally shifted from the last time you was here. I still have faith in the Mets that they're going to get into the playoffs. It just depends on the wild card of their division. But are you salty? Or I shouldn't say salty. That's not what I want to use. That's not the word I want to use. How do you feel? Because I've seen Met fans, especially Jerry Seinfeld, blame the team for celebrating too early. What's your thoughts on this celebrating too early joint?
It's a low-hanging fruit, and what I mean by that is I get it that it's an easy thing to target. So I can't talk against it, but I also think it doesn't correlate at all. It's all relative. Like, if the Braves weren't playing at like 120 win clip since April and May, like, everyone would be like, okay, like, the Mets are like still winning series. They're just not sweeping, or they're splitting, or even they're just going 4-3 on a week instead of like 6-1. It's just the only number that people care about is what's the difference between the Mets and the Braves, not how well the Mets are doing in a vacuum. And just no one can do better than the Braves right now. The Braves have fell off a little bit recently, as you know, losing some games, which has been nice for us. But let me just say this. If the Mets don't win the division and then they go and lose in the wild card series, this is one of the worser Mets seasons in a long time, of seasons that constantly have ended in disappointment and not even making the playoffs. I don't care what you say. This one almost surpasses any year. Like we were 11 games up, World Series favorites to like lose in a wild card game that you never even expected to be in, or a wild card series that your team is kind of set up. Because remind me again, how many games is the wild card series? 3 or 5?
It's 3 games. It's the best out of 3.
All you got to do is win Scherzer and DeGrom.
Mm-hmm.
If the Mets don't make it out of the wild card series, something drastically went wrong, and the 2 guys that they kind of hitched their wagon to, that you can kind of sell us before the season, right? You need to win 2 out of 3 games.
Yeah,
the Mets should be able to beat anyone in that type of series. If they didn't, I don't think a lot of people would be too happy this offseason. I think a lot of people would specifically look at the trade deadline and the fact that we didn't do much to improve.
Yeah, especially from the offensive part of it, because as great of a hitter Pete Alonso is, he needs another big bopper in that lineup. You saw it last night in the first inning. He was walked, and how pissed he got in the first inning for being walked. Like, he needs some protection behind him. If not, he's going to get the Barry Bonds treatment. Why are you going to pitch to Pete Alonso when you could just pitch to someone else behind him?
There's no worse hitter in baseball since the trade deadline, since Darren Ruff. And for some reason, in a big spot against a lefty when we need someone to make a hit, Buck keeps trotting him out. I suspect after a few games ago when he struck out with the bases loaded, that's probably the last time he'll ever be in that situation. But yeah, we didn't do really anything to improve. Givens sucks. I would be fine if he wasn't on the postseason roster. Ruff sucks. Naquin and Vogelback, like, they're okay. Like, they're not the difference between the Mets winning. Like, it's like when we got Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe those years. Like, they weren't the difference.
Oh God, Kelly Johnson,
right? Like, we got Cespedes those years. We didn't do anything like that. And to be like, I don't know if Ken Lindor and Alonso be good enough to be those guys in the playoffs. Like, they're so streaky and they're so hit or miss. We need them both to be those 275, 280 hitters and not the 250, 260 during the playoffs. And the good thing is Aaron Boone said it himself, right, when he like slammed on the table. It's the same thing for the Mets. It's all in front of them. They're going to make the playoffs. They're not going to – it's just the wild card of the division. So if they go into the playoffs and don't lose a game, they'll win the World Series. So as with the Yankees, we're both kind of in a same but different spot with feelings about the future.
I would say when it comes to both teams, the Yankees had these past 2 weeks have been probably some of the most scariest 2 weeks has been for a Yankee fan. It's like when the first time you get to the final boss in a video game and you got that anxiety running through your body, that's how it was these past 2 or 3 weeks for the Yankees, right? Honestly, just like you said, I can't blame the Mets when it comes to the trumpet thing, or when it comes to that. I just feel like it's just fans just trying to pick something to blame. You know, it's the same thing with the Baja Man performance in 2000. As minor things that it may be, it may stick out like a sore thumb, but ultimately it's the team not performing, right? And ultimately it's the front office not performing. I honestly think it's a blessing in disguise, right? And just hear me out with this, Zook. If Steve Cohen this offseason, right? If the Mets collapse, they lose a division, they lose in a wild card game. Steve Cohen this offseason, that man, he's going to go Game of Thrones red wedding on Major League Baseball this offseason with his moves. I mean, you're going to get Ohtani, right? That's going to happen. I firmly believe that you guys are going to be trading for Ohtani this offseason. And definitely, you may have somebody else down the pipeline that you're going to trade for, you're going to sign. I have all faith in Steve Cohen. DeGrom's going to be back. Met fans, I know everybody's scared. DeGrom's going to be back. He's not going nowhere. Steve Cohen has the money, and Steve Cohen is going to do what he have to do to fix this team.
No, I agree with you. I think I don't know. It's weird, man. This baseball season. And I'll just be upfront with you, like, out of the 4 major sports, baseball is, like, my least. Like, it goes for me, Steelers and Rangers are up here. Then, like, Knicks or Mets are down here. And a lot of it is just, like, the season. And for my mental health, the swing of, like baseball, like, you know, you turn on the radio, like, the sky is falling for Yankee fans. The next day, like, the best team in the league. Then 2 days down the road, they're the worst team. Like, 162 games, things are going to happen that for my mental health. I'm just waiting for like the point when the Mets are like the Yankees, where I have a bunch of friends where they know they don't have to tune in till like late August, September, because they know they're going to make the playoffs. They track throughout the whole season, but they don't have to worry about a little slump in August or in July, because you guys are the Yankees and you will make the playoffs at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that Steve Cohen kind of provides that for the Mets going forward. And no matter what, we'll always kind of be in it at the end. I got to hop off, though. I just wanted to.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
I was watching you, and I was just having some lunch, so I just wanted to hop
no
on.
problem. I got somebody backstage that I'm going to have a convo with. But Zook, anytime you want to do these pop-ins, bro, I love it, bro. Just pop in whenever you want to, bro.
I'll be watching. Have a good one.
All right, later, Zook. Good day. Yeah. So I got the other half of Cashing Out NYC, right? That wasn't on the first time, Mr. C, right? I had a great conversation with my man Gringo. So just stay tuned. I'm going to run a little commercial break for the channel. And right when we get back, we're going to have the guys from Cashing Out NYC. We'll be right back. And if you guys missed the Dejan Huddle yesterday, right, make sure you guys go back and watch that video, because my man Jigga Man Porto and Tiki Barber, they had a great conversation last night. It was an awesome conversation. But without further ado, I got my man Mr. C, and I got my man El Gringo in the building. Mr. C, what is good, brother? Salute. El Gringo, what is up?
Doing great.
What's going on? Glad to have you guys back, man. Appreciate you guys making time. I know it was conflicting issues, having people on at 11 o'clock in the morning. We ain't used to that, especially in New York City. You're not used to jumping on the internet at 11 in the morning, unless it's to go on TikTok or Instagram, my guys.
You already know, man.
Yeah. But how y'all been?
Great. I was going to say, Mr. C was actually at that Boston game last night.
Oh, what's up, man? How was it? Was it in hostile territory? How were you treated out there in Boston?
Oh man, I got the typical Yankees suck from them, and I just laughed, and all I just said was like standings, because standings, and I just find it funny with Boston fans. We bring up the past. Oh, they're Yankee fans living in the past. But when they bring up, remember what happened in 2004? We won 4 World Series, and then they want to bring up the past, like their 4 championships has to do with right now. And right now, as we see, Yankees still in first place. They're in last place. So as far as I'm concerned, I focus on the now. I don't focus on the past.
Yeah, 100%. I got to put it like this. When comparing Yankee fans to Red Sox fans, it's like, you remember in high school when you had the kid that never had uptowns, and he gets his first pair of uptowns and don't know how to act. That's how Red Sox fans are. They got their first pair of uptowns in 2004, and ever since 2004, they don't know how to act. They start wearing uptowns. They got Spider-Man and the Hulk on it. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to act.
Oh boy.
Man, but Gringo, what's good, bro? Awesome. It's been a hectic, how can I say this? Few weeks since the last time you was on in Yankee World. It's been doom and gloom, or it's been riding a high. How's it out there on when it comes to Yankee fans? I start with you, Gringo, and throw it over to my man, Mr. C.
There's a lot of confidence now when we went on Saturday. At that point, it was 3.5 on Saturday, and I did not see one Yankees fan have a lack of faith. So the faith was definitely there. We're winning this division was basically everything that they said right there. So a lot of confidence.
Okay. All right. My man, Chris the Flash. Yes, brother. I'm seeing your comments, bro. Don't worry. I got you. Mr. C, being out there in Boston, were you able to find any other Yankee fans, or was just all Red Sox fans out there? What was it like?
Oh, there was a good amount of Yankees fans there. I mean, when being in Boston, being in enemy territory and hostile territory, it's funny, even walking down the streets of Jersey Street up in Boston, I was getting a lot of, oh, we got a Yankee fan over here. And I told him, like, don't worry, my brother is gonna come. And before you know it, there's a whole bunch of Yankee fans coming out here. And they were just like, oh, like, yeah, like I don't come alone. We got the squad coming up with me. And there was this one little Red Sox fan. He was just yelling. He was talking Espanol. He was like, hey, what's that? Hey, Red Sox. He was talking in Spanish, acting like I don't know. And like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I grew up with a lot of Hispanics in my day. So don't act like I don't know. I know what you're saying.
You gotta let them know, bro. You've been in that barbershop with the dude with the razor blade and the ding 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 music in the back, bro. You've been in those spots.
Exactly. And I never saw any Yankee fan lost confidence. Going to think and say, oh, we win in this game. We win this game. Even when it got tight, even when Boston winning, there were still Yankee fans like, no, we got this. Relax. And the mood has changed. Winning that series against the Rays, it changed the mindset of the Yankee fans that now we're about to win this division and we're getting good news. Rizzo's going to come back next week. DJ's going to come back next week. The Bader kid's going to come back next week. You're going to have Britton possibly at the end of the year. You're going to have Chapman come back next year. The Yankees are getting whole at the right time. And you're going to see a lot of people, especially when we do our cashing out, we're going to see a lot of Yankee fans going to be more confident now, knowing that the team that we saw back in April or May is that team that we're going to go into the postseason, not the team that we saw in August. That August, it was a lull. It was tough. But this Yankee team in September, this is when you step up. This is when you play money baseball at the end of the season. This time.
Yo, you heard that, Yankee fans? I don't think there needs to be a conversation after that, bro, because it's like you're hitting all the points because Yankee fans, they were so worried. And I get it. I understand that big collapse that happened in August, the division league going from 16 games down to 4 games at one point. I understand it. But I always got to tell people, and you guys know this because you guys are there at the games. It's 162 games for a reason, right? It's a marathon. It's not just a sprint up the first baseline, right? You got to be able to play every inning and every out, and it means a lot. In 162 games, not everybody's going to have an 80% win percentage. You're not going to have that all the time, right? You're going to go through your ups and you're going to go through your downs. One thing I wanted to ask you guys, and Mr. C, you weren't on last time, right? So having the both of you here is perfect for it. I'll start with you, Gringo. At what age, you would say your fandom from base, because I know you guys, because of the channel, you can't say if you're Mets or Yankees, but what age did your fandom for the sport begin, Gringo? And just throw it over to James right afterwards.
Well, for me, I started watching Fitting Enough in 2006 when it was Yankees and Mets, the Carlos Beltran, the Jose Reyes of the world, and obviously your Jeters and A-Rods at that time. My first ever game was Yankees-Mets, where unfortunately, in that case, it ended in a walk-off. The Yankee fandom in me wasn't happy. The Met, because I was still figuring out, Mets and Yankees at that point, but that's when it started. At that point, I believe I was 7 years old. So, little kid there, seeing what's going on. What's this? And coming from, Dominican Republic background, everyone's like, yo, here's your bat. Here's your ball. Get ready. Get set. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. And I'm like, all right, let me accept it.
People don't understand in the Dominican Republic, it goes like this. It's church, it's baseball, and then family. In that order, in no other particular order. It's church, it's baseball, and family. Family come after everything else, but it's in that order right there. But Gringo, same question James, same question your way, brother. When did your fandom begin? Whether it's it doesn't matter which team.
See, I'm a little bit older than Gringo, so I actually started when I was probably about 8 years old. So that's when I first started watching baseball. My dad, ironically, took me to a Yankee game, and that was back in the 98 season. And when I first started watching baseball, I was just like, oh, this is fun. Like, I had a great time. And then, my dad got me a little Yankee little helmet as a kid, like to, have that somewhere in the house, and then since then, like I just became baseball. Baseball was actually one of the first loves I had. It was, it wasn't football, it wasn't basketball. Like it was because my dad took me there. And as someone whose island's right next to Dominicanos, it kind of just it grew on me. And then I just started watching. The Yankees started winning. I started loving the Yankees, even through the ups, through the downs. It's just and not just the Yankees, but baseball in general. Like baseball, I just love the sport of baseball. Like that's why I just started watching baseball in general because of like, you know, the passion, the competitive spirit, and how hard it is. As guys who also played baseball, it is one of the hardest sports to play because you could do everything right, great contact, and then you get out. Everything perfect, but you get out. And that's what I love about it, because you can, if you do 30% in baseball, that's a success. You're successful. That's how much I love the sport.
Yeah, definitely. I wish my former jobs were like that. If I could just do my job 30% and still be good, but we can't have it like that. But when it comes to baseball, you said it. It's a mental game more than it is a physical game, right? It's more mental than it is physical. You know, like you say, you only got to be good 30% of the time. It's not that many other, if any, other sport leagues that are like that. You got to be 60, 40, 50, whatever. But question I want to ask you guys, because it's something I was circulating from yesterday. I talked about it a little bit. Ohtani and Judge, who's the league MVP in your eyes? I'll start off with you, Gringo, and throw it over to James. And please do not hold back anything. Just let it rip. Go ahead, Gringo. Go ahead, Gringo.
The numbers, the numbers are the most important thing right now, and obviously, hence most valuable player. Guarantee you right now, if Aaron Judge is not on the Yankees, the WAR, the wins above replacement, is at least 10 to 12 games difference. That's what I'm talking about right now. In Ohtani's case, you know, he obviously, you know, he picked the Angels 4 or 5 years back, and you know, he's seen what's going on with that. He is the glue to that team, but at the end of the day, there's not much that you could say whether or not he's made a humongous impact on the team to where they're in some sort of playoff contention, which they're obviously not. So, I mean, hence yesterday, Aaron Judge hitting 2 home runs, getting them back in the game, letting them know, listen, I'm taking you guys and we're headed to the promised land. And that's the promised land he wants to do. So at the end of the day, that's all you need to know. Most valuable player is Aaron Judge. You want to debate? Let's debate. Plain and simple.
Oh no, it's not a debate. This is, you know, I'm somebody that loves to just conversate instead of debating. But Mr. C, to you, brother, because you was at the stadium last night. How was it when Judge? Because those weren't cheap shots; those were moon shots he hit last night, bro. Let me know how the feeling was, and give me your thoughts on the topic.
First things first, when Judge hit those 2 homers, especially the one to tie it, like you saw, like, because where my section was, there was a bunch of Red Sox fans behind me. There was Yankees fans in front of me. The Red Sox fans just so deflated. And then we all chanted, that's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the MVP. And it was just beautiful. And I said, and then it's funny because I looked at one and saying, like, this ain't a Yankee Stadium home run. This is a home run in every part. This ain't no cheapies.
Yeah.
This is some bombs. And it goes to show you that Aaron Judge is the MVP. First of all, there's no debate. Aaron Judge, you take Aaron Judge off the team, the Yankees are fighting, and I mean fighting for a playoff spot. And I mean barely scrapping. They're not winning the division. They're just barely fighting. Ohtani, who, yes, he pitches, he hits. It's great. It's incredible. But guess what? The team still stinks. You have Mike Trout, a generational player. Ohtani, another generational player. You have 2 generational players, and you're still like close to last place. You have 2 generations. Think of that. You have Ohtani, who can pitch and who can hit, and your team is still terrible. Listen, he chose this fate. That's on him. He has a year to decide if he still wants to be there. And this is not to bash Ohtani. I think Ohtani's great. But when you talk about most valuable, I don't even need the numbers. I don't even need the, like, thank you for Gringo for giving the numbers. I go by the eye test. And what the eye test tells me is that Judge is the team. When the Yankees were struggling in August, guess who was still carrying the team? Aaron Judge. When the Yankees going through their doldrums, who was carrying the team? Aaron Judge. Shohei Ohtani, as great as he is, he's still the team is still terrible. And also, by the way, for the record, when Aaron Judge faced off against Ohtani pitching, he hit a home run off of him. I just want to let everyone to know that. So Judge is the MVP. It is what it is.
No,
Mic drop.
Mic drop. I was going to bring that up too, bro. Mic drop. Like there's no conversation after it. And on top of it, to feed on to what you just said or add on to it, over the past 10 years, right? At some point over the past 10 years, both Trout and Ohtani were considered to be the best players in the league. It's not only that they had two generational talent, they have two players that within the past 10 years, since they've been in the major leagues, they've been considered as the best players in the game, hands down, both of them at one period or point, whether or not. And to me, for an Angels team, that goes to show you have no ownership. That goes to show that you have nobody running that ship. And right now, if you're somebody, if the three of us had the money put together, right, the $5 or $10 billion is going to take to buy that team, would we even want to buy that team because all the baggage that comes with it? I don't think so. It's in a great location. The ballpark is beautiful, right? It has a good fan base, but the baggage that comes with it, I could pass.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. And also, and to add on to the point, you're talking about like an Angels team who has been, who hasn't won a championship since 2002, who hasn't even made the playoffs. Only made playoffs one time in the past 8 years. Made the playoffs one time, and they lost. Like there's so much negativity and baggage going on with that team. And for the record, and for people saying that, like, for Judge to stay healthy, this is what Judge does when he's healthy. I just want people to know that, like, because and over the past, Judge had that snake bit in. He's had those freak injuries, and all I said was, and I had a conversation with Ging, was like, I just want to see one time Judge stay healthy, because when he's healthy, he can put up numbers. And guess what, guys? He's been relatively healthy. He's getting closer to breaking Roger Maris's record. And this is what he is. He could be an MVP every year. That's how good Aaron Judge is. Pay the man the money. He is the team. Hal, if you're listening to this, pay the man whatever he's worth, because he is the team, and you can find, and listen, he'll be the team until he's done. But for right now, it's Aaron Judge's team. Pay the man the money. You've seen what he has done. You've seen that he's carried the team when he's been struggling. He's been the only consistent hitter all year. So come on. And we're about to win the division.
Like my man Mr. C said, pay the man. And on top of it, how, if you're watching, right, if you're listening, right, you need Gringo and you need Mr. C to be running your pre and post game social media interactions. I'm just saying that right now. How, whoever's listening out there, you need these two to run your pre and post game social media interaction, because you guys hit it on point every time. When it comes to the questioning, when it comes to the fan interaction, you guys are there, and I got to give it to you. It's hot outside. It's too hot for my big ass to be outside the time that you guys is outside. But Gringo, I'm gonna throw it to you real quick. And 1 second, sorry. But when it comes to Judge, Gringo, and if you had a blank checkbook, what's the contract? What's the figures? What's the years that you giving him? And then throw it over to Mr. C afterwards, bro.
So first, my math, my AAV, it's math. I hated math when I was a kid, but I got it done with 90s, surviving with 90s. I was that kid back in those days that hated it. But I would say probably in the 420, 430 range, about like 9 years. If you really want him here, if you truly want him here, because let's be honest, that first contract that was given to him, obviously the Yankees didn't know he would get this high of potential. They thought that he peaked. Some people thought in the front office, they're obviously not going to say it out loud, that he peaked in terms of all that in 2017 in his rookie season. But I would give him in the 420 range if you really want to talk about that. Obviously, the age is the detriment to all of this, because he's going to enter his 31. He's going to be 31. But if you really want him here, make a big splash and try to take away those, the San Francisco Giants of the world, the possible New York Mets. Make that statement. Let him know that he's here to stay. Well, he's here to stay.
Agree. Mr. C?
I would go 8 years. I would go about 400 million. And the reason why I go up to 400 million, because when the Yankees offered 210, 230, like, Yankees thought it was a fair offer, but that was honestly a disrespectful offer. And now, just so you know, he's also about to mess around and get the Triple Crown. That's how special this season is. He's messing around and about to get the Triple Crown. 8 years, close to 400 million, because think about it. The Mets got money. Steve Cohen got money. You're talking about, the San Francisco Giants. He's from the Northern California area. They need to sell tickets. What's a better way to sell tickets than bringing back Aaron Judge, who's from the Northern California area? You also have teams like the Braves that could sneak in, and don't even count out the Red Sox. And we know we joke about the Red Sox, but there's always a threat here and there. You want to make a statement, say, listen, this is our franchise guy. He's going to retire a Yankee. And the beauty about this deal is, people talk about the age, and guess what? There's an automatic DH. And his contract's going to be longer before Stanton. And if you look at Stanton's contract, there's a team option in the next 4 years after that. So
in 2025.
There you go. So there's a team option after that. And Judge can be your DH. When the other kid, Spencer Jones, is already killing it in the minors. You also have the Martian, who's in AA. He's coming up soon. So give Judge the 8 years. You're going to make him the permanent DH once Stanton is pretty much done. You have other kids coming up on the come up. You have Volpe, who's on the doorsteps of coming up. Make Judge the centerpiece of your team. 8 years. $400 million. If you want to do a team option for a 9th year or a player option for a 9th year, have at it. He will be not only the highest paid player on the team, make him the highest paid player in the league. To let him know that he is the guy. He is the guy. And I'm going to say this right now on your show, and if it comes back to bite me, I don't care. I will take bullets. That Aaron Judge is not only going to win the MVP, he's going to win the World Series MVP. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first on the Yankee Morning Brew. You know what, Mr. C? I'm gonna make this graphic tonight, right? And we need to have Mr. C mic drops, right? From now on, anytime you're on the show, I'm playing that graphic, Mr. C mic drops, because that's what you do, bro. You've been mic dropping each time, but I gotta agree with you. I literally gotta agree with you. When you look at Judge, right? Ever since Judge has came into Major League Baseball, he's 25, 26 when he was a rookie. He's been the most underrated, underappreciated, underpaid player in the sport of baseball ever since he came. The injuries he had, it's little freak injuries. It's either he's getting hit on the hand, it's either, cramping up in the legs. It's not him tearing his shoulder. It's not him blowing up his knee. It's not him getting ACL surgery. It's not him getting back surgery. It's been little injuries that I feel with his body, right, and the frame that he has and the way he keeps his body in shape, he can play till he's 36, 37, 38 years old at a high value as well. You pointed it out. We got the DH, Giancarlo Stanton in 4 or 5 years may be gone from this team if the Yankees could buy him out or trade him to somebody else. And when he comes to the AAV, the annual value for his contract, if you take Aaron Hicks, right, that's $10 million. And Josh Donaldson, that's 35. That's 25 million right there. Combine them, that's 35. Judge is making 17 million this year alone. Remove that 17, add it to that 35. That's Judge's salary right there. If you're able to get off Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks contract, and then you just add on to whatever Judge is making this year, you're not hurting your team because you're just removing those two bozos just to pay Judge more. What's your thoughts, Gringo?
1000%. And it goes back to the math right there. Obviously Aaron Hicks,
New York City public school knowledge right here.
Yeah, New York City. Oh man. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, like you're just mentioning right there, Aaron Hicks, since I want to say June should not been on this team. It's plain and simple. Yes, he brought some sort of dynamic where it was, simply of I got a little bit of energy. I can give you guys that occasional pop home run here. But when you're not consistent with it, and now it shows it in the years prior, it's time to wake up, time to, say adios. And obviously in Donaldson's case, he came here to have that dog in him that we needed. And it's come about in spurts here and there, but we haven't seen it consistently, And Saturday, he came back. He had a wonderful performance. Can he continue that? That's the most important thing. And these next couple of weeks are going to really let us know whether or not the Yankees are going to stick with him. So,
no, 100%, bro. Go ahead, Steve.
Aaron Hicks' replacement's already coming up in Harrison Bader. That's his replacement. The reason why the Yankees traded Montgomery, who by the way got lit up the other day, is because Bader is basically going to replace Aaron Judge. And if I know for those who haven't seen the kid play, let me tell you something about Harrison Bader. The kid is quick. He hits for contact, and plays a very good center field, which is important because it keeps Aaron Judge in right field, which is his better position, and he can track down balls, which is fantastic. He has one of the quickest track speeds in baseball, and he can steal a lot of bases. So he can generate runs. He can add that speed into the lineup that which we absolutely need. And and what the Yankees have to do is understand that Aaron Hicks is not going to be on the team. As far as Donaldson, like I agree with Gringo, is because he comes in bits and spurts. Like Saturday when we were at the game, yeah, he hit a home run. That was nice. But can he be consistent? Can he do that over and over again? And these last few weeks will determine if he can. He plays a great defensive for third base, which I give him props for that. But the offensively where it is. And also, too, don't forget, Anthony Rizzo is coming back next week, which is a big plus because he's a plus defensive first base. And he was hitting before he got hurt. He was hitting. The problem was he hasn't been hitting it much because he's been hurt. He has a chronic back issue. When Rizzo was hitting in May, he was hitting. He's a professional hitter. And what you need is combination of guys who can get contact and power. You got the power with Judge. You got the power with Stan and Rizzo. Now you need guys when DJ comes back. You got the Bader kid. Hopefully, maybe, when Benintendi comes back too. You're getting guys who can do contact and hit because that's what you need to do to win in playoff baseball in October. Pitch good, contact baseball, get the home runs when they come, then you're going to end up doing well. So honestly, I think Hicks is going to be gone by this offseason. I also think, and don't be surprised, Glaber's probably going to be gone too.
Oh, yeah. Glaber, I have, if I had to bet money on it, 100% he'll be gone. You bring up interesting points, especially with Harrison Bader. And a friend of the show, my friend Nathan, he covers the Somerset Patriots, right? So when he got the okay and he got his media pass that he'll be interviewing Harrison Bader, he sent me the video. So I got the video here. If you guys have a minute or so, I want to play it. Guys, you get your thoughts on it and let's talk about it. But let's watch this real quick.
Speaking of the Bronx, what's it like for you to be back home and then eventually playing in front of your friends and family? What's it going to be like for you? And what does it mean for you to be a Yankee?
Yeah, listen, it means a lot. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to hide the fact that I, was born and raised in New York and, grew up a Yankees fan. That's definitely a nice aspect of what we got going on here. But, listen, there's a job to do every single day. This really isn't emotional. This is a physical game. It's about preparation. It's about taking the emotion out of it. So as happy as I am, no doubt about it, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm absolutely thrilled. But listen, that doesn't take away from what we got going on. And that's winning games after 9 innings for an entire season, which this team has done an incredible job of all year. And again, I'm just looking forward to adding to that winning culture and that winning mentality and hopefully make some history here in 2022 in October.
And just a follow-up, speaking of culture, what did you learn in St. Louis that you will bring to New York?
Yeah, that's a great question. I learned how to win. I really did. We didn't, in my tenure in St. Louis, we didn't necessarily have a championship to speak of, but we did have a lot of playoff appearances, won a division title. There's a lot of winning that went on. There are a lot of good players I learned from. In St. Louis, you learn how to win, man, and you learn how to do it multiple ways. And, I think that's what it takes to win. Not one singular part of anyone's game is going to always be there. So finding ways to adjust and pivot is tremendously important in competition. So St. Louis definitely taught me how to win.
Great point. That at the end, and let's see, trading Montgomery is where the Yankees' downfall started. I don't agree with you there, James, and I'm gonna throw this around real quick. I don't agree with you there, right? I look at it like this: that the Yankees lost all faith in Aaron Hicks, and Aaron Hicks has been so bad this year. He's been so bad that the Yankees, in the middle of the season, they had to trade a middle of the rotation left-handed pitcher in order to make up for how bad Aaron Hicks has been this entire season. Gringo, I'm gonna start off with you. What's your thoughts on the video and the whole Aaron Hicks, Jordan Montgomery thing? Go ahead, bro.
First on the video, he's coming from a winning culture in St. Louis. Like he said, although he didn't win, he got that mentality of let's get this done. It's all business. Yes, he's excited to be a Yankee, But at the end of the day, there's one mission, and if you don't accomplish it, that's it. Mission failed. And that's the type of that's St. Louis. I've always admired St. Louis's culture, in the mid 2000s and the early to mid 2010s. They've always had that culture. And thinking about it as well, Matt Carpenter coming from St. Louis as well, adding on to the winning culture that he had over there, heading to the World Series when he did in 2013 as well. You have the nucleus and you have the players, and plain and simple, in terms of Aaron Hicks's case, he said the right things. Like this year, he said, I'm going 30 for 30 this year. I'm doing 30. I'm doing it. The thing is, as much as he wants to say that the right things, he hasn't shown it on the field, as I said, consistently. And when you keep on saying things that you never deliver, it's just your word means absolutely nothing at the end of the day. So that's something that I want to say about it. And obviously, with that Friday game, it honestly sealed his fate. Not in terms of ever playing with the Yankees again this season, because he's obviously going to have some opportunities here and there before Bader comes and takes it. But as of right now, that just honestly sealed his fate in terms of goodbye, Aaron Hicks from the New York Yankees.
Yeah,
And
agree. Go ahead.
And to also add on to Aaron Hicks, I remember he won R2C2 say, I'm going to bring some FU and that. Like he was talking a big game, but your game only goes as what we see on the field. So obviously Aaron Hicks is done. As far as Harrison Bader, look, as we all mentioned, you come from St. Louis. St. Louis has a tradition of winning. Yeah, they didn't win when he was there, but he learned from a guy like Nolan Arenado. He learned from a guy like Abapulos when he was there before he got traded. Carpenter was on the team that went to the World Series in 2013. So he's learned and understand how to win from organizations that know how to win. Because when you come from a team that knows how to win, and you go to another team who knows how to win, the mindset doesn't change. It'd be one thing if Bader was from the Royals and then he came to the Yankees. That's a tradition of losing. Like you get a flash in the pan World Series, and you just go right back down to irrelevancy. But when you come from a team, a tradition that has 11 World Series championships, a culture of winning, who loves baseball out in the Missouri area, they love baseball out there in Missouri, who cultivates winning, and you come to New York Yankees, who symbolize winning, it makes a big difference because now everyone in the clubhouse has a mission statement. Everyone from Trevino to Judge, everyone has been consistent about winning the World Series. It's always been the mindset. And you bring in this kid who has the mindset about winning, and he's talking to himself. He's talking about winning 9 innings, winning every single game. You're going to see the kid have that same mindset. So honestly, it's good to see guys who have winning attitudes come here. Hicks, I'm not saying he does have a winning attitude, but he does not have the attitude that we need on this team. It's just the way that he carries himself. He always dejected. You see, even when he strikes out, he's just like, he doesn't have that. He has that, oh, shucks, look at me, look. Even in right field, he has that, like, I can't believe I made that play, even though, like, the run scored, like, and I said this to Gringo, we could have swept the Rays. Aaron Hicks cost us the sweep. He literally cost us the sweep. Because if you think about it, there were 3 runs scored because of Aaron Hicks. Take away those 3 runs, Yankees win 2-1. But because Aaron Hicks,
just sloppy defense in general is what led to those 4 runs, right? There was a shift going on. IKF didn't make that play in this first or the second inning, which led to a run, right? Aaron Hicks in left field didn't make those 2 plays, which led to a run. And one thing I don't understand is that, like, none of those was charged as errors because of the shift, because people were shifting. So they don't count those as errors. To me, that makes literally no sense. But one thing I wanted to ask you, but on that Friday game that you're talking about, when Aaron Hicks got booed, literally off the field. I want to ask you guys, I know you guys are used to a trivia game, so I got a little trivia game myself, all right? So this is it. But this is what it is. All right. If you were Aaron Hicks, right? If you're a player that's playing for the Yankees, and Friday is Derek Jeter. It's Derek Jeter Day. They're gonna be honoring Derek Jeter at the stadium. You got a big series coming up against the Tampa Bay Rays. What time are you getting to the stadium that day? The game starts at 7. You got the Jeter ceremony. You got to prepare. What time are you getting to that game? Gringo, I'm going to start with you. What time would you get to that game and throw it over to Mr. C afterwards?
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Heading to the game at 1 o'clock, getting prepared, doing my drills, batting practice for a couple of hours, and then getting in that mindset of I need to make an impact on this team. Plain and simple, because it might be one of my final opportunities.
Bingo. Mr. C, how about you, bro? What time are you getting to the stadium?
I'm doing that Kobe mindset. I'm getting there at 6 a.m. I got that Kobe mindset. I'm getting up early. I got that I got to do my runs, my preparations, workout, in the gym, working out, practicing on tape, looking at things I didn't do, going to do and just keep practicing. I'm in Kobe mode right there. I'm just going there when preparation meets work. That's where I'm going, especially for Derek Jeter Day, to know that the guy that symbolizes what winning is about. Oh yeah, definitely getting there early.
Your man Aaron Hicks. I'm on line gate 4, right? I got there early because I want to make sure I get one of these. I got one of these joints, but I got there early. Aaron Hicks showed up to the stadium. He was dropped off, I'm assuming by Uber, by his driver, at 3:45, 4 o'clock. He was dropped off on the side of gate 4, running into where the media and where the players going. And, we're online, and one of the fans called us like, yo, is that Aaron Hicks? And we all look, and we see him, and he waves us. He waves us and goes inside. I'm like, this man shows up on Friday when it's the Derek Jeter game. Batting practice was already moved up ahead, an extra hour, a whole hour ahead. And you show up at that time to prepare yourself for a game, for a big weekend. To me, that goes to show you that he doesn't have the care. He doesn't care anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, have you ever had a job that you've had that one coworker who's mentally checked out, and you could just tell because of their work ethic and how they are at the job?
Oh yeah.
Aaron Hicks has mentally checked out. I'm throwing it around one more time before you fellas go, just because I got a 12:15 hard out for another show that's coming on after the channel. Mm-hmm. Gringo, I'm gonna start off with you, bro. Do you think he's mentally checked out, and then pass it over to my man?
Oh yeah, 1,000% he is mentally checked out, and at the end of the day, he's just getting ready to leave this organization. He's ready to start anew, and plain and simple, it just goes to show you that as much as you want to say that you want to make some sort of difference, and you got to show it. Action is more important than just saying it in a podcast, or it's just super important. Show with your actions, not with what you're telling everyone.
Yeah. Oh, he's done. Go ahead. He's done. He's done. Like, the dude is checked out. The dude is mentally checked out. Like, he knows the writing on the wall. He knew the writing on the wall when he struggled. He knew the writing on the wall when Gallo left, he knew he was next. People didn't pick up on this. Gallo knew the writing on the wall. That's why he packed his bags and dipped. Yeah. Hicks knew his writing on the wall because he knew that once Gallo was gone, guess who the ire was going to be directed towards? Him. Because at least when Gallo was here, he had a safety net. He had Gallo. But now that Gallo's gone, and now he has a little bit of success in LA, guess who has the ire now? Aaron Hicks. So Aaron Hicks knows his writing on the wall. He knows it's done, and now he knows his replacement at any moment is coming up from the minor leagues. So he's done.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, if I gotta pay his Uber myself, I'll pay his Uber myself to get him off this team. But fellas, I love to have you on the show. Please, let's try to make this. If you guys are able to come on weekly or whenever you guys can come on, just shoot me a message on IG, and I'll just send the link right into the chat. Whenever you guys can come on, you're more than welcome to. Like I told you, Gringo, last time, if you guys got to come here to promote whatever you guys got to promote, you guys have an open panel, open door policy. You guys don't need to ask. You guys are more than welcome anytime you guys want to come on the channel.
Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting today, and we got the crew today, and mic drop Mr. C.
Right, mic drop C.
I know. And also, guys, please follow us TikTok, Twitter, IG, Cashing Out NYC. We're going to be going to the other side for Mets, Pirates, The Mets are a little bit of a free fall, so hopefully the fans can be there. So I just want to give that little plug. So if you're a Met fan, you got to show up because your team's a little bit struggling right now. So hopefully your fans can help you out because the Braves, as me and Gringo talked about, they're not going away, and there's a reason why they're the world champs. So that's my final message.
They're in New York style. They're chopping it up. They're chopping it up.
And let them know how to spell it again. It's Cashing Out NYC with 2 C's at the end of NYC, right?
For the Instagram, yeah.
For the Instagram. All right. Yeah.
Everything
so
else is
NYC,
just the same.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys follow my guys from Cashing Out NYC. They will be back on the channel. And if you're a Met fan, like they said, make sure you go out there and support your team. You got to go give love to your team. Don't be like Jerry Seinfeld and crying on Twitter and stuff like that. Go out there and support your team. Gringo and Mr. C, I appreciate you fellas. Wish you guys all the best. See you guys around, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Later. That's the guys from Cash It Out NYC. Great conversation. And that's what we like to do here on the Yankees Morning Brew. We like to have the great conversations. I got my man Pinstripe Chronicles. We're working on something backstage, so you'll be able to see Pinstripe Chronicle or somebody from their channel come on, to have another great conversation because that's what we do here. Like my man Jiggle Man Porto says, it's a couple how you doings. It's a couple what it is. And also as well, guys, please, if you guys haven't, I know I just brought his name up, Jigga Man Porto. If you guys haven't, please light a candle for the New York Jets and Jigga Man Porto. All right, no more football talk. That's it. Because my football knowledge is very small, so I'm not going to do the trash talking. I'm going to just touch on the comments real quick. Maria says Hicks is just plain terrible. He needs to do something else, like maybe get a job and retail, or Wendy's terrible. He needs to go ASAP. Maria, you are hilarious. My man Sir Coda, what it do? Throw the Knights in the chat. Jamar says Hicks was a major reach by Cashman. Yeah, Cashman thought he had something there. Cashman really thought he had something there. My man James Cook, Montgomery is like 6-0 with St. Louis. Yeah, but I think his last start he got roughed up. But yeah, James, I definitely agree. And especially if you listen to the R2D2 podcast with CC and I forgot the guy he does it with, but they had Jordan Montgomery on. And Jordan Montgomery let it be known that the Yankees told him to go away from his fastball, right? And as a Yankee fan, especially if you've been watching the Yankees for these past 10 years, Yankees have done that with certain pitchers. That's why I'm worried when it comes to Frankie Montas that the Yankees do the same thing with Frankie Montas. Tell him to pitch like this, pitch like that. Just let the pitcher pitch how comfortable he is, right? Make sure he's just as comfortable as he is. That's it. Just make sure he can go out there and be comfortable. If you go out there and tell them, oh, pitch like this or pitch like that, you're going to get Sonny Gray, right? You're going to get Jose Contreras. If you guys remember Jose Contreras from back in the days, but Jose Contreras went through the same issue with the Yankees. He came over from Cuba. He came to the Yankees. He had the potential in the world, but the Yankees were messing with him and told him to pitch like this, pitch like that, or go like this. And he wasn't able to, he lost it. At the major league level. And like Jiggerman says, hey, chat, check out the show from last night with Tiki Barber and throw those lights. Absolutely. If you guys have a second, make sure after this video, you go into the channel, you go watch the Deegan Huddle episode with Tiki Barber and Jiggerman Porto, and make sure you give that joint some lights. And if this is your first time watching, hit that subscribe button, right? Hit that like button, right? And if you're watching this video on the replay, comment down below. Let us know what's your thoughts. We had the Harrison Bader exclusive. Shout out to my guy, Nathan Ramachanda. He will be on the channel on Friday. But my man, Nathan, covering the Somerset Patriots, he sent that video last night. Was like, here you go. Heck, make sure you put it on the channel. So we have a lot of great things going on here, and we want all of you guys to be a part of it. This entire season for the Yankees, it's been a thrill for me personally, because I'm able to enjoy it with you guys. Shout out to the guys that for the love of the game, but over here creating the Yankees Morning Brew, being a part of the Knights of Dejan, it's just a unique community. It's just unique opportunities and just so much going on that I want all you guys to be a part of it. We got a lot of great things coming soon. We got a lot of great things lined up, right? Like I said, we're going to have Pinstripe Chronicles. We're working on getting my man Derek from NYY Recaps. I think I just got a message to say that he's willing to come on the channel. Just got to set it up. So I'm super excited. Hope you guys are super excited as well. And please make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. My man Chris said, I'll promote this. If you haven't seen the NYY News interview with Pete, yeah, go check that out. Great interview by Hector. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I had a great conversation with Pete Simonetti. Pete Simonetti and NYY News. I'm going to have one of the other guys on from NYY News. They're just going to let me know who, but we're going to have somebody else on from NYY News. And Pinstripe Chronicle, he said our co-host Donald would be on soon. Let's go. Let's go. Like Jiggerman Porto said, let's effing go. Guys, you guys are going to want to make sure you're following the Knights of Gigi and KOD Media over the next few months. We got a lot of things going lined up. My man Jiggerman Porto, he's working backstage like a mad scientist. My man is legitimately Pinky and the Brain put together and made one mad scientist. All right. But guys, this has been an awesome episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm your guy, Hector, Project Nerd HQ. Aaron Judge is the MVP, hands down. Aaron Judge MVP, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. But guys, appreciate y'all and peace.